going to move on right now to hopefully a very relaxing session with Sari Velar, who's a certified yoga for cancer instructor. And she works here with us at Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center. Sari, please go ahead. Sorry to keep you waiting.
No worries at all. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dr. Letsky, and thank you so much to AIM for allowing us to have this opportunity, and to my wonderful colleagues, including Dr. Pulducator and Sylvester. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So in the interest of time, I'll only put up a couple of slides right now, and then we'll go ahead and get into a yoga and movement practice. So I'll talk a little bit about the benefits of oncology-focused yoga. I'm trained in a methodology called Yoga for Cancer, Y4C, and also a methodology called Urban Zen, where we take a lot of the side effects that come with treatment into consideration when we are crafting yoga classes. So unlike walking into a regular yoga class, we are going to address things like fatigue, pain, nausea, neuropathy, and a lot of the other side effects that can go on pre, during, and post-treatment. So a little fun slide here, before and after yoga. So people always talk about yoga saying it's such a great stretch. It feels so good for you. It's so relaxing, but there's so much more to yoga when you are going through active treatment and in survivorship as well. Yoga is as scientific as it is a physical and spiritual practice. So when we talk about some of the Y4C or Yoga for Cancer methodology, these are some of the principles that we incorporate into classes, which is gravity. We know that gravity helps us with bone mass and building bone mass as well, movement, range of motion, resistance, compression and restriction. Very simple exercise like the opening and closing of a hand, or positional movements can also make lymph move throughout our body, and eliciting the relaxation response. We had some really great examples of that with Mary and with Aaliyah and some of my colleagues. So we definitely get into that. We get into parasympathetic versus sympathetic. We get out of fight or flight, we get out of our heads, and much more into our physical bodies. So I can go on and on about the benefits of a yoga practice, but here are some of them. Increased strength and flexibility, improves our mobility. It helps reduce cortisol, which in turn helps us with our blood sugar management. Weight management helps us with better sleep, reducing fatigue, anxiety, and then some more additional benefits on the side. I think the most important benefit here as someone that's going through active treatment or as a survivor, sometimes we feel that when we are diagnosed with whatever cancer we are dealing with, we are no longer friends with our body. So this is the practice of reconnecting mind, body, and spirit, and connecting with your body no matter what state that it's in. So again, these are some little excerpts from scientific studies. I won't bore you with all of these, but some more of the benefits: helping with cancer-related fatigue, peripheral neuropathy, enhancing overall quality of life, management of lymphedema. We'll go through a lot of exercises and movements in the sequence that's coming up right now, where we'll do a lot of positional changes to help us move lymph with gravity and moving different parts of the body, improved sleep. I can go on and on here, but instead of going on and on, I know we've come to pretty much the end of our time together. So let's go through a physical practice of yoga. We're going to incorporate some grounding techniques. We're going to go through some movements, and we're going to go through some breath work. All you will need is a chair, some space in front of you in which you could reach out your arms from the side, extend your legs out in front of you. I'll start a little closer to the camera, and as we move into this movement sequence and our yoga practice, I'll move a little further back so you can see the rest of my body. So hopefully you are sitting in a chair, and start to make any movements in your chair that will help you arrive in your chair. So you can gently rock from side to side, perhaps starting to wiggle out your fingers or tap out your toes. If you haven't taken that morning stretch yet, maybe stretching the arms as high as you can overhead. And coming to settle in a position in which hopefully your feet are making contact with the ground. Your hips are firmly rooted in your chair. Hands can rest either on the thighs for a little bit more of a grounding energy, or if you're feeling a little bit low on the energy this morning, you can flip the palms up so that the fingertips face the sky. So wherever you're at in your seated position, make sure you draw the spine tall and long, as if it were a beautiful golden thread that's being pulled at both ends. You can roll the shoulders back so that the shoulder blades come towards each other. If you want a little bit more support for your spine, you can shift all the way back in your chair so that that taller part of the chair is supporting the spine. So keep your chin parallel to the ground. And at this time, I'll extend an invitation for you to close your eyes if you're comfortable with closing your eyes. If for any reason you're not comfortable with closing your eyes, just gently dim the eyes. Focus on something that preferably is not in motion. So let's take 3 very clearing and cleansing breaths, kind of cleaning the slate here. Take an inhale in through your nose. Fill up the belly, fill up the lungs with air, and a loud, audible exhale. Another inhale through the nose, and a loud, audible exhale. Last one, let it all go. Let anything that's not serving you go. Big inhale in through the nose, and a loud exhale. So beginning to follow our breath this morning. Just beginning to observe your inhales and your exhales. And as you're observing where the air is coming in from, where the air is exiting from, use this time as a process to kind of clear the slate here. If you can imagine a chalkboard and everything is kind of getting wiped away here. We're letting go of any notions of anything that's going to happen over the next 10 minutes, letting go of any notions of anything that happened this morning or future events, things we have to do today, Target, food, grocery list, let that all go. And really just continue to follow your breath to allow you to drop anchor into this present moment. And as you're following your breath, you may notice different nuances about your breath. Maybe one breath changes. Each inhale could be different from that exhale, but we're gently observing with a lot of love, with a lot of curiosity towards ourselves, and following this breath that happens for us all the time, this autonomic thing that automatically happens for us constantly. So continue to follow your breath and maybe start to shift the attention to the points of connection in your body. So notice the ground underneath your feet. So you might be barefoot this morning, you might be wearing socks, you might have shoes on. So just notice any textures, any temperatures underneath your feet. And let the attention travel up a little bit and notice the chair underneath you, the chair supporting you, maybe supporting your lower body or supporting your spine. And then finally, bring your attention to the room that you are sitting in and how you actually take up space in that room and your current surroundings. And maybe that's hearing the rustling of trees or the wind moving outside. Maybe that's the hum of your air conditioner. Maybe that's the sound of your pet moving around in your house or your partner or your spouse, just little nuances about the environment that you're in. So we know this very simple exercise of becoming a little bit more present, a little bit more cognizant, lets us really dip in and be present and cultivates a little bit more present moment awareness. So as this wonderful collective that we've assembled here today, let's take one more inhale in through the nose, filling up the belly, filling up the lungs. And a very slow exhale as if you're trying to let air out of the bottom of a balloon. And if your eyes were closed, go ahead and blink them a couple of times, adjust to the light in the room. I'm gonna go ahead and travel a little further back so you can see my entire body. If you shifted around during our grounding practice, just make sure you come back to having the feet planted on the floor and hands either resting on the thighs, palms down, or palms up. So roll the shoulders back, draw the spine long. Let's go ahead and move and warm up our cervical spine. Take an inhale, begin to look over your right shoulder. And exhale as you gently start to turn the head to look over to the left. Inhale as you look over to the right. And notice any nuances, anything that's happening in the head or neck as you turn from side to side. Let's take it over one more time, turning the head ever so gently to the right. And then to the left. Next time the head passes through center, gently bring your chin down towards your chest. You might feel a little bit of a stretch or opening of the upper back, the back of the neck. And on your next inhale, lift the chin up towards the sky. Very gentle lift, caution not to hyperextend and take the base of the head all the way back. Bring the chin down towards the chest again. You can take a little pause here just to notice the nuances, the differences of bringing the chin down towards the chest. And then chin comes up towards the sky. Last one, bringing the chin down, taking a little pause. And then bringing the chin upwards. So we're going to take the tip of the nose and we're going to start to move and rotate as if the tip of the nose were touching the numbers on a clock. Start to turn the tip of the nose over to 3 o'clock, rotating down to 6, over to 9. So we're going clockwise here until we hit 12 o'clock again, and keep that going. Very gentle, soft, supported circles here, moving our cervical spine. Take it past 9 o'clock again. And then next time you reach 12 on your imaginary clock, take those circles in the opposite direction, rotating the tip of the nose down back to 6, over to 3, and give it a whirl. Take it around at least twice. And you might notice taking things in one direction produces a little bit of a different sensation than the other direction. Might hear some snaps and crackles and some pops, completely normal. Return the head to neutral. You can gently shake the head yes, and gently shake the head no, just to reset the cervical spine. All right, let's take the chin down towards the chest, and we're going to gently start to roll the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Hang out a second there and notice what's happening on this opposite side of the neck. We're going to create a little bit more traction by dropping the opposite arm down to the ground. And I want you to envision and think of your fingertips draping down towards the ground as if you were holding a 50-pound suitcase. So the shoulder becomes a little bit heavier. We're creating a little bit more traction. And then I want you to spread the fingers wide as if we're stretching the webbing in between the fingers. So continue to draw down. And on your next inhale, we're going to extend that arm out into a diagonal and keep on reaching energetically through the fingers. You might feel a little bit of a difference in the neck, maybe a little bit more activation in the arm and shoulder. We're going to gently take those fingers, keeping those fingers stretched, and reach out through the heel of the hand and take the fingers up towards the sky. So as we're pushing through the heel of the hand, might produce a little bit of a different sensation. And we're going to make some gentle circles here as if we were cleaning a window. Very gentle, tiny circles here in one direction. And in the opposite direction. We're going to reverse it. At your time, at your own pace, you can go ahead and release that arm down towards the ground and gently return the head back to a neutral position. Let's take the chin down towards the chest again, very gently roll left ear towards the left shoulder. Notice what's happening on this side. And then we can release the opposite arm for a little bit more traction here. You can always hold on to the base of the chair for support if you feel like you need a little additional support. And continue to reach down energetically. And again, we're holding that 50-pound suitcase, 51-pound suitcase you're trying to get through baggage check at MIA. Keep on letting those fingers energetically reach down towards the ground. Spread the webbing between the fingers so that we're spreading the fingers wide, wide, wide. On your next inhale, take it out into a diagonal. Continue to reach energetically through the fingertips and then draw the fingertips up towards the sky. Press out the heel of the hand. Notice any subtle differences in doing so. If there's any different activation anywhere in the body. Start to make your gentle circles here, taking them clockwise or counterclockwise. They don't have to be very big. Take them in the opposite direction. And when you're ready, release that arm down towards the ground. Return the head back to a neutral position. You can gently shake the head yes, and shake the head no. And then a little ear to shoulder, a little maybe, a little side to side, now that we've gone ear to shoulder. All right, let's continue this movement sequence by releasing both arms down towards the ground. I want you to think of, again, energetically spreading the fingertips, opening up those hands, and opening and closing tightly, bringing some sensation into the hands, some feeling into the hands. So tight fist, and then wide spread fingers, opening and closing. Release those hands down towards the ground. We're going to start to pick up the shoulders, bring them towards the ears, and roll them towards the back of the chair. So as you're rolling the shoulders back, take your time here. And again, just noticing those little nuances in the body. What happens as we bring the shoulders up towards the ears? You might notice the shoulder blades coming towards each other, a little bit more opening in the chest. If you want to make this a little bit more dynamic, you can take the elbows slightly higher. It might produce more of an opening in the chest. And then we are going to reverse this. We're going to let the arms root down first and start to roll the shoulders towards the knees, towards the front of your screen. Rolling forward. And you can invite the elbows into the party if you're into it, taking the elbows a little bit higher. You might notice a little bit of the opposite happening, the shoulder blades pulling away from each other. Maybe a little bit more stretch in the upper back. You can release those arms down to the ground, wiggle out the fingers, tap out the toes since we haven't moved lower body as of yet. So slide forward in your chair so you've got plenty of room to move your spine. We're going to take some flexion and extension of the spine, an exercise or a movement called cat and cow. Anytime you're feeling any discomfort or you've been sitting all day, especially the lower back, you can take a couple of these cats and cows. They're really beneficial. So we're going to rest our hands on our knees. On an inhale, you're going to slide your hands slightly back and start to lift the heart, lift the sternum up towards the sky. Gentle lift of the chin upward. On the exhale, slide your hands forward. Start to take the belly button towards the back of the chair, round the shoulders, chin comes to chest. Inhale as you lift the heart. Exhale as you round, drawing the belly button back, round the shoulders, chin comes towards the chest. One more lift here. Lifting the heart upwards. Exhale, rounding the belly, sending the belly button back, rounding the shoulders, and then coming up into a neutral position. We're going to take a very gentle twist where we're going to move just the T-spine, the top of the spine. So we're going to slide the right hand back. As we're sliding the right hand back, we're going to start to turn the framing of the shoulders towards the right side of the room. So I'm not turning the head all the way back. I'm trying to keep my head in line with the sternum. Bring it back to center. Take an inhale, slide your left hand back and start to turn the shoulders towards the left-hand side of the room. Exhale as you return on that hand back. Inhale, gently twisting, opening the top of the spine, twisting towards the right. Exhale, returning to neutral. Another inhale as we turn towards the left. And returning back to a neutral position. Tuck your heels slightly in. We're going to take a side bend here. So we've taken flexion and extension of the spine. We've taken gentle rotation or twisting of the spine. And now we're going to start to move laterally. So let's take the arms, release them out by your sides. Take an inhale. Lift both arms as high as you can. And we're going to drop the left arm down towards the base of the chair. Take an inhale and reach the right arm as high as you can, and then gently start to bend over towards the left. So imagine you've got a wall behind you and the shoulder blades are tracing right against the wall. If extending the arm up and over the ear is not in your wheelhouse today, you can take a cactus arm, bring the hand to the shoulder, or maybe even just keep the hand at the hip. So there's always plenty of options. Continue to focus in on your breath. Notice what's happening here in the intercostals, maybe some sensation up through the arm and the armpit. On your next inhale, let's bring that arm up, bring the other arm to meet. And we'll drop the right arm down to grab the base of the chair for support. Take an inhale as you extend the spine up towards the sky, and exhale as you bend over to the right side. Arm comes over the ear. Just notice any subtle differences between the right and the left. Again, if you need to take an arm variation, maybe a cactus arm, or bringing the arm lower, variations are always there for you. Continue to focus in on the breath. Take one more inhale, one more exhale. And then we'll inhale up and exhale, release that arm down. Let's shake out the arms one more time, tap out the legs. Let's bring the hands to the back of the right knee, bring the knee up to chest. Let's point and flex that right foot, bringing a little bit of movement into that ankle joint. Moving that synovial fluid. Start to take some rotations here as you rotate the ankle out and then rotate it inward. And the last thing we'll do here is we will flex the foot and we're going to spread the webbing between the toes. And then I want you to imagine picking up a napkin with your toes, scrunching the toes, and then spreading them one more time and releasing that leg down. We'll take it over to the opposite side. On an inhale, take that left leg up as high as you can, squeeze it in towards your chest. It doesn't have to be a big lift. We'll start to point and flex that left foot, inviting some motion into the left ankle. Might hear some cracking, some snapping. So start to rotate that ankle outward and rotate it inward. We'll come back to a flexed foot. Spread the webbing between the toes, then scrunch the toes, pick up that imaginary napkin, spread them one more time and release down towards the ground. Shake out the arms again, tap out the feet. Last thing we'll do here is we'll windshield wiper the legs from side to side, just a little release in the hip. We'll take one little final movement here. This is the figure 4 stretch in which we'll bring the right ankle to cross over the left leg. If for any reason it's not in the wheelhouse today, plenty of options. You can rest that external blade of the foot down on the ground or rest the blade of the foot on the opposite leg, on the shin. So you've got 3 variations there. It's all about that external rotation of the right hip. So no matter where you're at, take an inhale, sit up tall, and we're going to exhale and fold and hinge over the legs. This could be a very slight fold. Idea here is to create a little bit more activation. I T-bend, piriformis, get those hip flexors moving and grooving, and still keeping my heart lifted, keeping my nose lifted, focusing in on my breath, rolling my shoulders back, creating a long line from the crown of my head to the base of my spine. Take one more inhale and one more exhale. And go ahead and push it up and release that right leg. Tap out the legs and shake out the arms in between. And then we'll take the left leg, again, remembering options. We've got outside blade of the foot on the ground. You can rest it on the shin or cross it up and over the opposite leg. So wherever you're at, you can rest the hands on the shins. Take an inhale, draw the spine long, and start to fold, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart, leading with the chest. Gently fold forward. This could be an inch, a centimeter of a fold forward. It's all about creating that activation on the side of the leg, really starting to notice. Maybe you have one side that's slightly tighter than the other. Remember, when we look inward, when we notice, it's all about a lot of love, a lot of compassion, a lot of gentle introspection. It's just information that our body is giving us. Take one more cycle of breath. And on your next inhale, gently rise. Release that left leg. Give the arms a shake again. Give the legs a tap again. And start to slide towards the back of your chair. We'll come into a very quick grounding practice. So you might want to stretch your arms overhead one more time. Take that nice long morning stretch, lifting your arms as high as you can. Some may want to extend one foot and then the other foot, or no feet at all. Just find your way into a comfortable seated position. And either rest those hands on the thighs, palms down or palms up. Again, I'll extend an invitation for you to gently close your eyes. If closing the eyes doesn't work for you, just dim them and keep the eyes soft. Take an inhale in through the nose. Loud, audible exhale. And turn the attention inward. Begin to subtly notice where your body is at. Where was your body 15 minutes ago? Taking a little bit of inventory. Noticing where your body is at the present moment. And we're not just talking about the physical body, we are talking about your breath as well, and your emotional body too, and your spirit. Start to notice any shifts, any changes. There might be a sense of a little bit more lightness, a little bit more connectedness with the breath. There might be some shifts in energy, some feelings of openness. And even if there wasn't a shift at all, it's all about taking the time to carve out to connect with our bodies during this journey. So take one more inhale in through the nose. And a very slow exhale as if you're letting air out of the bottom of the balloon. And if the eyes were closed at your own time and at your own pace, you can gently start to float them open, perhaps flutter the eyes, adjust to the light in the room. And I will go ahead and come a little closer. Thank you for sharing this time and this practice with me. Our schedule is online, no experience necessary. I am there for you Mondays, Wednesdays, and individually as well. So I thank you for your time, and hopefully you enjoyed that short practice.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sari. I think we're hopefully all relaxed now.